Okay, what's really impressive about this storm, besides that it's snow, ice, and rain, is how expansive it is. I mean, it's taking over like the southern half of the nation, with the exception of the southwestern states, right?
Hmm.
And so let's bring all the pieces into play here. First, we have the cold air; it's already arrived. We felt it today, right? Were you
Oh my
outside?
goodness, yeah,
God,
it's
I mean, it was like
tough.
it started last night, pinching in the face, right?
Hmm.
So the cold air is in place, and now we have the energetic dynamics happening. Like we have jet streams that are merging and area of low pressure that's riding. All of that is actually coming together now, and now moisture is being pulled in, and that's why we're seeing the resulting snow, ice, and rain across the sections that you do. Here in the tri-state area, we're still sort of like in a holding pattern. We're still before, the calm before the storm.
Hmm.
I anticipate our snow to first begin to arrive probably late tonight after midnight. Now, on our radars, interestingly enough, it's actually going to show snow coming in, but it's not going to reach the ground right away because our air is really, really dry. And so what that means is the snow will then come down out of the atmosphere, coming down the atmosphere, but it's going to evaporate before it reaches the surface. We call that virga.
Hmm.
Usually we typically talk about that with rain, but this time it'll be with snow. So initially, even though snow will show up on the radars, if everyone has their radars at home on their phones, it won't quite start reaching the ground, I think, until after midnight. So in the pre-dawn hours tomorrow, that's when the snow really starts to ramp up. Now, keep in mind that I just said the air itself is very, very dry. So what that also means is that the snow that does fall, it's actually going to pile up quickly. So I think our snow totals are really going to be ramped up in the morning tomorrow. And then as we go through the early afternoon or midday, possibly in some areas, we're going to see a bit of mixing happening, like the ice that we're seeing in some parts of the area. We're going to see some of that kind of creep northward across parts of New Jersey, maybe even into the city for a period of time, and the South Shore of Long Island. And what that's going to do is not only result in icy weather across the region, it's also going to keep down our snow totals. Now, a lot of meteorologists were talking about how it's going to keep down our snow totals, but we're still going to have significant totals, right? So instead of maybe having 12 inches, instead of having 15 inches, you may get 12 or 11. That's pretty significant. So we're also going to see a change over to rain now. Some of the models are indicating in parts of central and southern New Jersey. The worst of the snow, I think, is going to be further north into upstate New York. We're talking, let's say, the Poconos up towards Sullivan, Ulster, Dutchess counties. There's a swath there of possibly 12 to 18 inches of snow. Here in the city, I'm going with about 8 to 12. Again, because we're sort of accounting for some of that mixing that's going to move further north. So that may keep our snow totals down just a little bit here, maybe closer to 12 inches at the max.
Hmm.
We'll wait and see, because if that, it's very, we're still sort of in a way where
You're trying to figure out where that line is going to be,
yeah,
right?
right. We're so close. We're so close, Arthur. See, on this model, we have a couple different models. This one's indicating only 8.8 in Central Park. I think that's a little touch low. I would have said at least maybe 10, maybe closer to 10. But we have to wait and see where that line sets up. If it stays further south of New York City, we could go upwards of 12 to 16 right here in the city, which means more further north, right?
Hmm.
Now, if the line moves further north, that means places like Westchester, Rockland counties could see a little bit less than the anticipated 12 inches there, 12 to 16 actually. So we're still sort of in a wait and see, but we definitely know we're in store for a major snow event across the region, one that we haven't seen in several years. Icing will also be an issue, especially on Long Island, New Jersey. I think New Jersey is going to see snow. It's going to be like a sandwich, almost snow at the northern part of the state, icing the middle part of the state, and then rain, changing into rain closer to like Philadelphia and down towards Cape May. If you're further north, Catskills, you're going towards Albany, let's say central Connecticut, New England. Right now, we all think New England is going to be the biggest jackpots. They're calling for 2 feet of snow across parts of New England. So while we won't get that much here, we're still going to be greatly impacted. And that's where we're at right now.
It is the city's ability to handle snow
Mhm.
sometimes is measured by inch per hour. Like
Mhm.
if it's under an inch per hour, the city can the speed at which the plows go through
Yes.
certain streets, the city can
The
keep
amount
it
of cleanup.
right.
Mhm.
Is there a part of this, especially when you talk about the earlier accumulation,
Yeah.
where we're exceeding an inch per hour?
Yes,
There
absolutely.
is, all
Great
right.
question. Again, with that dry air I just mentioned, that the snow will be piling up quickly, it will also result, because we also have an energetic, we'll call it like jet streak. It's when we have a sort of like a injection of power, let's just say, into the atmosphere. At that time, combined with all the other elements, we could see snowfall rates. We usually go an inch of like moisture to 10 inches of snow. It could be 1 to 15. So we could see snowfall rates of up to 2, possibly 3 inches an hour, which is really intense. And again, I think that's going to be in the first half of the storm, probably in the morning hours tomorrow. So if you have plans to be anywhere tomorrow morning, it is really
Not a good idea, right?
not a good idea. Not a good idea.
Right, but and also they always ask us to tell people to stay off the roads because
Mhm.
if they can't plow it, if you get stuck, they got to come get you, and
Mhm.
it pulls away from their ability to deal with that.
Mhm.
The MTA says they're going to try to stay up and running.
Oh, good, because I have to get in here tomorrow.
Right.
So I was
Well,
wondering about
and then
that.
we got to figure out how to get home.
Yes.
Um,
I was wondering about that.
yeah, me too.
Oh, can I just point out to you
yeah,
really quick, Arthur?
please.
There we go. Thank you. That map we see, the pink shaded tones for everybody,
Mhm.
that's over a foot of snow. We're talking 12 to 18 in those pink shaded areas. So
Yeah.
it's inland spots that are really going to see it the worst.
Okay. So MTA, obviously, their subways tend to do better, especially if they're
Right.
not running on elevated tracks for any part of that line,
Mhm.
which is not all the train lines. But their buses might run into some problems then early on if it's going to be accumulation
It's
that
rough.
fast, right? They put what are the
Chains.
chains, right,
Mhm.
to give them traction.
Mhm.
But also, the MTA's gone heavily reliant on articulated buses, the long ones.
Mhm.
They used to they're less. I think they're less. They're harder to
Controllable?
maneuver
Yeah.
in snow than the shorter buses, so that might
Noted.
become a fact of life
Yeah.
for people tomorrow. And then the dynamic of the ice coming in at some point is really interesting because. So, what time do you think where that line looks to you at this hour?
Right. We're looking close to
in
like
there?
around midday, maybe early afternoon. It's still a wait and see. We have to see how far north it goes and where the storm will be tracking.
No,
You know,
no. When it comes down, then like because it's icier, does it come down as snow and then just ices when it hits the
no,
ground
it'll
and
coming
is
down
more
like
compact?
a sleet. It'll come down as sleet. Yeah, we're actually going to see
Oh.
like ice pellets coming
So
down.
it just won't be as like dainty as it comes out. It'll
No.
just be like harder.
Yeah, yeah. Wait, I was going to mention something. Oh, we had just seen the extended forecast. Another thing to note when you're talking about the cleanup, the snow is going to be sticking around because we're not going to be above freezing for a week.
Right.
So there's no melting happening.
It's all 20s. It's not even close, right?
Right. So which means the sanitation department really has their work cut out for them because they legit have to really move the snow. They have to remove it themselves. There's no melting happening here. No extra rain coming in that's going to wash things away. The exception with that actually may be southern New Jersey, but the city, no. We're going to need like snow removal. And let's just say we do go over to that sleet and ice period for a while too. The cold temperatures are going to exacerbate that too because that ice will stick around. So that's another issue. I'm not sure what the sanitation department's protocol is for removing ice. We've been talking a lot about snow removal, but what about ice? Because we got to talk about power lines that are going to be affected. Power lines will come down if they're loaded with ice. Trees may come down, hit power lines. And so with a prolonged period of temperatures below freezing, there is a great concern, I know in the weather community, we've talked about this, whereby if people lose power, the temperatures are going to be extremely cold. So, you know, it's something to be aware of if people can be prepared.
Have a plan, right?
Right, have a plan because God forbid that should happen to you, be without power for some time. The temperatures are going to be really, really cold. And people will need to do what they can. I'm not sure how it works with like shelters or heating venues. Like
because
we
we
do
have cooling
centers,
shelters,
right? In the summer, we have cooling centers. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Something
a
to look
great
into.
point. Everybody should have a plan for if they lose power, which if that means they would lose heat
Yeah.
in their unit, but definitely have like good clothes set out and
I know if people have fireplaces, maybe if they have the outdoor pits, if they have the packets, the warming packets, layers, all those things.
in this case too, generator, make sure your generator's ready to go.
And a safe place too, not indoors. Keep it outdoors.
Yeah.
Because people will put it inside in the gas, you know, the carbon monoxide.
Yeah, and then just to finish that thought before we go to Richard Jacobus, who's standing by, is that usually the city's approach to this is to put down as much salt, right? If we're going to deal with icy conditions, but if we're already getting that much snow, like how can they really resalt the roads while also dealing with plowing to address the second wave of the storm, which is the ice?